What it do? Yo man, listen. Second video today, so let's get right into it. We're talking about the parasite of mortrex. Just for 2 seconds, I do want to gloat. 6 months ago, I called this character perfectly. I said exactly how it will be, and I got it right. So, the parasite of mortrex is the long-awaited 5th Tyranid character coming to Tacticus. He will arrive in December, so this video is a little early. However, Snowprint has given us permission to release these video and information slightly earlier than normal. Just understand that this character will be unlockable through the Battle Pass for the month of December. First things first, the art department does always a great job. I think there are no characters in Tacticus that look ugly from a art point of view. Personally, this is my favorite looking character, not because he looks like epic and all, but because I think epic characters look kind of silly. However, this character looks like a goofy goober, and he is so cute in a very endearing kind of way. So, with that being said, let's actually look at what the character does. If you look at his traits, we will see that he only has the fly trait. This is a little surprising because of the fact that the parasite of mortrex has historically had the synapse trait in both the 9th and 10th editions. The fact that he doesn't have the synapse trait is surprising to me because it's a part of his identity on the tabletop. Additionally, the active ability of the parasite of mortrex does rely on him being in synapse range. However, this might be a conscious decision to balance out his very strong active ability. So I'm not gonna criticize Snowprint because at some point game balance should take precedent over accuracy to tabletop. However, with that being said, let's actually look at his stats. Like most Tyranids, he has a crit item, he has a crit booster, and he... Goodness, brothers, guys, I was dying there. Oh my. Sorry, I just blew out your eardrums. I apologize. So, he has a crit item, he has a crit booster, and he has a Tyranid health plus armor item. That's pretty cool. I prefer that item over the block chances. Now, as you know, the Tyranid's crit item only gives you 25% crit chance, and the crit booster gives you plus 5%. So the character at max is going to have 30% crit chance. This isn't too big of a deal because he only has one hit. It is toxic, so that's pretty cool. Toxic does have a relatively high pierce ratio. However, it's not one of those pierce and psychic and direct tier. However, it is significantly higher than something like blast or bolter or chain. As for stats, he has 8,000 health, which is pretty average. He does have 1,700 armor, which is pretty good. He has 4,300 damage stat. This is, it's balanced out by the fact that he is a one-hit character. He's not similar to Shosel. Shosel has 5,000 with Pierce, so that is very much an outlier. He does have 4 movement, which is expected. 4 movement plus fly. He is a fast character, especially with his active in mind. First, I want to cover his passive because I think it's extremely simple. It is called the Barbed Ovipositor. Goodness, English is hard. Now, the passive ability, it reads, when the parasite of mortrex defeats a unit, it targeted that is not mechanical, it summons a Ripper Swarm in the defeated unit's hex. Now, the Ripper Swarm has all the stats you would expect from a Ripper Swarm. 6,000 health, 1,000 damage, and 1,500 armor. At max rank, that's a lot of chunk. This ability is actually very similar to the Possession passive ability of Archie from the Black Legion faction. That ability reads, each time Archimatos defeats an enemy unit, a bloodletter is summoned in its hex. Now, the Parasite's passive is slightly more limited in the sense that the passive does not work on mechanical units. However, I would go as far as to say a Ripper Swarm is significantly more impactful than a Bloodletter. Now, this is a very simple, straightforward passive. Him being able to consistently summon units as long as he's killing things is a good thing. For legendary release events, this is a W. For even for anything in the game, as when you can easily summon things by killing enemies, that's a good thing. Like, this is a nice passive. Personally, would I have liked it if it was on hit? I absolutely would have. It might be a little too strong in that sense. I'm not going to split hairs. I like this passive. It's pretty neat. It's very straightforward. His active ability, it is a little confusing. So it is called It Itches. This I like the naming convention because both abilities are actually from the tabletop. The Ovipositor is the melee weapon he has access to that has a special rule, and the It Itches is the datasheet ability. So it reads, suppresses and pushes an adjacent enemy unit and all enemy units adjacent to both the target and the parasite of mortrex. On 1 hex backwards, enemy steppables on affected hexes are destroyed. The summon then summons a Ripper Swarm in each vex vacated by this ability. Ripper Swarms can immediately attack if the parasite of mortrex is within synapse range. It may move again after activating this ability. This is a lot. First things first, you suppress an adjacent enemy and all enemy units adjacent to both the target and the parasite of mortrex. So it is very much like a get away from me, like get away from me and this target ability. Then he summons Ripper Swarms in each hex vacated by this ability. Now, if you actually look at the Tacticus map layouts, like the boards of hexes, pushing an enemy and all adjacent enemies to that enemy and the parasite of mortrex, that is a lot of ground, and that is a lot of Ripper Swarms you can actually summon. Now, if the parasite of mortrex is within synapse range, it may move again after activating this ability. This reads to me very much like a PvP ability. The fact that you go in, you push something out of the way, perhaps off a steppable hex that in tournament arena where you want to control the zones. And then after you've done that, you summon a bunch of things to muck everything up. And then you move away, maybe you run away or you step on a different hex or you get to an advantageous spot where the enemy can't get you and you can bounce on him next turn. This is a very utility-based active ability. Now, it does say push, and I do want to make very clear that this ability functions based on your ability to push the enemy. Now, what do I mean by that? If you actually cannot push the enemy, then the hexes will not be vacated, and if the hexes are not vacated, you're not going to be able to summon Ripper Swarms. Some things that are not able to be pushed are big targets, the units with big target traits such as Revas and whatnot. They physically don't get pushed, like the Screamer Killer Guild Raid boss doesn't push him and whatnot. Bosses such as Avatar of Cain and whatever other Guild Raid bosses there might be, you physically can't move them because they don't allow you to. And the map being too full is actually another thing. For example, if you're doing a legendary release event, it is a very common scenario to have the map completely filled with enemy units. And you can't just Super Mario stack them on top of each other. There is no place to push, so you will not be able to push. The runaway is very cool. In legendary release events and PvE, I don't think the runaway matters that much. However, this is very much a PvP ability. Now, I've said it 10 times, I do think this character is really going to be a PvP character. The fact that he can consistently summon Ripper Swarms makes him good in legendary release events. I'm opposed to the idea that every single summoner is good for legendary release events. However, the fact that you can consistently summon Ripper Swarms, which are swarms after all, and which can get healed, especially after the most recent change that lets you bring back swarms from healing, this is actually pretty good. And this unit does have a little bit of interaction with a third character that I will also be releasing. A lot of health on swarms is pretty cool, just saying. Now, that was the verdict. However, this is the true verdict. Look at this thing. It looks perfect. I love this. It looks so cute. Oh my god. I just can't get over the fact that how cute this looks. When this was revealed to me to make this video and make content about it, I just stared at it and I was like, oh my god. This is the best thing ever. I love this. This character is not guild raid viable. I don't think this character will ever be used in guild raids. However, because of how cute it looks, I think I'm going to use that Lotus Dinos badges to max them out and get him to Diamond 3 because he does just look that cute. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Thank you much for watching it. My referral code is in the middle of the screen. If you want to enter it, you get 100 Blackstone shards, and it's a great way to support the channel. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Have a good day and stay safe.